No one could have known it then, but when Daytona International Speedway opened in 1959, it marked the beginning of a new era in American motorsport as a replacement for the old beach road course a few miles to the east. The opening of the high-bank 2.5-mile Florida Tri-Oval represented the leading edge of a wave of construction of big paved speed palaces. Before Daytona, Indianapolis was the only American oval track longer than 1.25 miles, and most racing took place on dirt ovals a mile or less in length. From the very first Daytona 500, won by Lee Petty in a three-way photo finish, those high banks have proved favorable a venue for a wide-open stock car racing. Daytona kicked off the growth of NASCAR as we know it today. Daytona International Speedway's infrastructure has grown and changed to such a degree that it'd be almost unrecognizable today to someone who hasn't seen it over the last 20 years. It is an amazing motorsport facility, but one thing hasn't changed over the past 6 decades. No driver can consider his or her career complete without notching a victory at Daytona. From Dale Earnhardt, who captured the 500 in 1998 after coming so close so many times, to 14-year-old kart racers whose racing resumes are just at the beginning. A victory at Daytona is a mark of distinction. Tonight, it's the LSR Cup Series season finale. Will Drew Blaze secure the title over Chris Goins? There's only 11 points between the two of them, or will it be Keaton Burnett or maybe even Sean Roberts to steal it? Stay tuned. It's coming up next here on HBR TV. Stay with us. Good evening, everyone. Once again, welcome to Daytona International Speedway, the Extreme Motorsports Final Ride 80. 80 laps around Daytona International Speedway, 200 miles to close out the LSR Cup Series season. Practice just about wrapped up here. A nice and cool 69 degrees, 55% humidity. Track temperature, a nice cool 71 degrees. Obviously, handling not to be an issue tonight. Going to get things down here, trackside here for practice again. Just about a minute left in the session. We'll give you a quick glance at the times in practice. I know they don't mean much here on a super speedway, just due to the fact we're working with drafting and higher speeds in a pack compared to qualifying times. Best time of the day, though, it is Bobby Hall Jr. out of the Flex Motorsports stables. A 44.98 for the 94. Going back a little earlier in their season, the Flex Motorsports Everything Series, Bobby Hall Jr. won the inaugural event of the season at Daytona. Granted, that was in the 87 Cup car. Here we are in the last generation NASCAR Cup Series car, the Gen 6, my personal favorite, but maybe I'm the minority, maybe not. Dan Worthington, second quick, also a Flex driver. Jesse Redding, Justin Johnson, Jonathan Arnn, the top 5. Take a look at the points coming into the evening. Why is it that every time I do this, it doesn't work? And it's only with the LSR side. That's all right. We'll get it straightened out. We just updated it earlier this evening. We're going to send the data, and we're going to try it one more time. She's still not working. We'll get it squared away. Meanwhile, qualifying just about to get underway. We'll go to Sean Roberts. Sean takes a green flag on his qualifying attempt. Don't know what it is, folks. Having some demons here tonight. Facebook isn't working. Neither is some of the overlay information But coming into tonight, the point standings are as follows. We'll just verbalize it for you. Drew Blaze, top of the board with 433 points. Chris Gones, second spot. He's at 422. I'm not sure if I've seen Chris. Yes, I have. Chris is going to have to really pull one out of his hat here. Battling coronavirus, unfortunately, the driver of the 6. Not to miss this one. It's the last one of the season. Going to try and take that top spot away from Drew Blaze. Keaton Burnett, third in the point standings, 405 points. Sean Roberts, 402 points. So there's mathematically an opportunity here for even Sean Roberts to take the title tonight, depending on what happens with Drew Blaze and Chris Gones. Who knows? They get caught up in a big wreck in an inopportune time early. They burn that fast repair. Maybe it happens again. We'll happen to see it. It's going to go down here tonight. But again, restrictor plate racing or tapered spacer, however you want to look at it. Anything could happen, so it is definitely on the table for all 4 of these drivers tonight. Sean Roberts, third quick so far. We've stuck with him here for the 2 laps. Joe Tucker's gone top of the board. Ken Couch, second. Kevin Blue, fourth. Keaton Burnett, another championship contender. He's currently listed 5th. Sean Roberts crosses the stripe. His second lap goes down a tick, 47.88, while Kevin Blue goes up 47.77. Keaton Burnett crossing the line. $47.86 for Keaton Burnett. Bobby Hall Jr. on the track, the number 94 machine. First lap for Hall, 47.97. It's 7th fast. Seventh quick, Bobby Hall Jr. is going to stay at 47.97. Chris Gones also on track to put down his qualifying times. Many drivers seemingly not going to take a time here. David Ballard, Jonathan Arnn, Mike Fahey, point leader Drew Blaze, Justin Johnson, Michael Cole, Jesse Redding so far not to have taken a time in qualifying. Chris Gones goes P2 on his second lap. 47.765 for the driver of the I-Lending number 6. And Chris is second in points, only 11 back out of Drew Blaze. And that's going to make the qualifying session official. Let's go to our starting grid. Tonight's final ride 80 presented by Exreme Motorsports. On the pole position, it is the 13 of Joseph Tucker. To his outside, championship contender Chris Gones in the 6. Kevin Blue, row number 2, position number 3 with Lonestar Racing. He'll start 3rd. Daniel Worthington out of Flex Motorsports, the 113 machine. He'll start 4th. Ken Couch in the 08 out of Texas. He'll start in the 5th position. Keaton Burnett, recent winner in the SCAR Premier Series, rolls off from the 6th position, the number 26 machine. Sean Roberts, the 66, also championship contender, currently 4th in the standings. Pure Racing Opposition starts 7th. Bobby Hall Jr. with Earl's Shop and Flex Motorsports. He'll roll off in the 8th position. Drew Blaze, championship point leader, the number 1. He'll get credited with a 9th place starting position. Did not take a time in qualifying. These are all based on iRating. Justin Johnson in the 10. He'll start 10th. Mike Fahey, the number 19. He'll roll off in the 11th position with David Ballard, the number 90, starting 12th. 13th starting position goes to Jesse Redding, the 7:21, with Michael Cole, the 7:26, starting 14th. Last but not least, it's the old number 43, Jonathan Arn out of Georgia, starting in the 15th position. Your starting grid here for the Extreme Motorsports Final Ride 80. Again, we mentioned it earlier in the broadcast. 80 laps around Daytona International Speedway for 200 miles to get it done to wrap up the season, the LSR Cup Series. Four-way battle for the championship points standings. This isn't run necessarily like we see in many series that are kind of mimicking the chase. This was kind of run straight up, which I kind of like to see, I got to be honest with everybody. But Drew Blaze, Chris Goins, Keaton Burnett, Sean Roberts, the four drivers that could take home a championship tonight. It's going to be one of those four. Joe Tucker put it on the pole, but there's just not enough points to be gained. Even with the extra bonus point for the pole, I believe they do get that here, but it's 40 points to be, maybe 42 points for maybe lap led, most laps led. Even still, it wouldn't be enough to get them to take over Drew Blaze, even if Drew parked the car right now. Championship could go to Chris Goins. Joe Tucker with the Voodoo Ranger sponsorship on that Mustang. For those of you that don't know what Voodoo Ranger is, you're missing out. It's a tasty beer. Field formed up nicely, 2x2 off turn number 4, waiting for the pace car to duck down pit lane, and we will get the green flag.
Ready, green flag.
There it is, it waves. We're underway here from Daytona. The LSR Cup Series is underway for their season finale, the Extreme Motorsports 80. Lap 1 complete. Chris Goins out in front, leads that first lap. Second now, Daniel Worthington. Joe Tucker from the pole has slipped to the 3rd position. Keaton Burnett, Kevin Blue, 4th and 5th. car field here so far at Daytona. Been a pretty consistent number for the last, 5-6 races, but every week, pretty much 15 every time. We've had bigger, we've had smaller, but nice to see every one of these guys coming back on the regular, participating, putting down a good show, and competing. It's really what it is all about, having a good time and trying to win these races. Chris Goins, though, still out in front. Chris does run decent here on these super speedways. Top four unchanged, but up to P5, it is the one of Drew Blaze. He's up 4 spots already. 4 positions, 4 laps. The one on the attack, tracking down Kevin Blue into turn number 3. Gotta be honest, though, kind of surprised with Drew Blaze here. He's putting the attack on. The aggression level is high. 5 laps in already, giving Kevin Blue a big push down the back straightaway. He just needs a solid finish here, and he can lock this up. He needs to stay close to Chris Goins, but doesn't need to chance it and wreck the car. As long as he gets 10 points cushion between himself. He's got 11 points between himself and Chris Goins. He shouldn't have much to worry about, but if he wads up the race car, that changes everything. Right on board here with Drew Blaze as he works to the back bumper of Kevin Blue. Kevin slides up to the top side. Drew Blaze checks up off the gas down the back straightaway. He's got the 19 of Fahey going up top. Now Blaze is going to switch lanes and go in behind the 19. See if he can sniff a draft off of Mike Fahey. Checking up out of the throttle again. Car's slowing up in front of him just a bit. Drew Blaze in behind his sponsor, Mike Fahey. Fahey Race Wraps, the livery on that number 1 Camaro. Ken Couch giving the 113 of Dan Worthington a bit of a push into turns 1 and 2. Down the back straightaway they go. Worthington gets away just a bit, but everybody on the inside is going to freight train by. Ken Couch going to work back to the back bumper of Worthington, see if he can keep him in the mix here. Chris Goins continues to lead. Worthington way up in the top side, 3 wide for just a moment between Fahey and Justin Johnson, but Worthington in the fence off turn 4. No contact from him with anyone else, just the safer barrier. He's going to lose some momentum and scrape up the right side of that Mustang. It's back in the throttle, though, not going to lose too much. Might be able to keep the draft, provided he doesn't have too much damage on that machine. I didn't see it, didn't look too terribly bad. From this perspective, it looks fine. Right front damage just slightly, it seems, on the Worthington automobile. Back up front, Joe Tucker's worked his way back into the 2nd position in behind the 6 of Chris Goins. Again, Tucker started on the pole position here tonight. Quickly slipped to the 3rd, 4th position, but settling back into the back bumper of the 6. 10 laps in here at Daytona. Chris Goins still your leader. To the outside, though, it's Kevin Blue with help from Drew Blaze, championship points leader. The 1 on the attack again with Justin Johnson coming into the back for some help as well. 6 cars under a blanket down the back straightaway. Chris Goins still out front, but for how long? Aerial shots a little low this afternoon. That's better. Big push from Joe Tucker into the tri-oval. Chris Goins leads lap 10 as well. Chris Goins maintaining that top spot over Joe Tucker, Sean Roberts, Justin Johnson, and Drew Blaze. 3 of our top 4 points contenders in the top 5, at least for a moment. Kevin Blue has passed Drew Blaze. Now Blaze back to 6th. Blaze just wants to push with Justin Johnson there all over the back bumper of the 10. You heard the one get out of the throttle once again into turn number 3. Not sure of the strategy there. We've seen Drew power to the front a few times and then slip back to the back of this small pack. Top 6 now separated into 2 small 3-car packs. Top 3, Chris Goins, Tucker, and Sean Roberts. That second pack there, Justin Johnson, Kevin Blue, and Drew Blaze. Wiggle, wiggle. For sure, goes Drew Blaze into the 6th position. Looking out the backside is the 54 of Kevin Blue. Not sure what Drew is trying to do there, but we see him wobbling left, right quite a bit. Don't know if he's just seeing what he can get away with here early on in the running. Top 6 starting to get packed back up with the exception of the 54. Kevin Blue gets into the outside wall, scrapes it off the safer barrier, continues on. I thought I saw him get into the wall into turn 3. Does it again off of turn 4. So far, we stay under the green flag. 15 laps in here at Daytona. It's been pretty clean from the outset. Chris Goins has gone top of the board pretty much since lap 1. In fact, he led lap 1, and he hasn't looked back since. Well, I'm sure he's looked back. He's had his eyes in the rearview mirror, and it's full of the pole sitter, Joe Tucker, in that 2nd spot. Took a peek to the inside. Sean Roberts there in 3rd. Justin Johnson and Drew Blaze, the top 5 all right there. That's your top 5 we've been watching. Let's slip back further here. The 6th position, Mike Fahey, the number 19. Looks like mellow yellow colors on that Ford Mustang, but of course Lonestar Racing and different sponsors on it. But nonetheless, he leads this group of cars. Keaton Burnett there in the 7th spot with Ken Couch, Bobby Hall Jr., Jesse Redding back to the top 10. Keaton Burnett also looking awfully racy behind the back bumper of Mike Fahey. Not sure what they can do with it. Honestly, if these guys could all just get lined up single file here, it is still very early. We're not even halfway. A few laps shy of the quarter mark. But if they get lined up single file, stop racing each other, they might be able to track down that lead pack and maybe do something with them. Right now, they're quite a ways back. It's almost 7 seconds up to fifth place running Drew Blaze. They're not in danger of losing a lap, but if they all got organized, worked together for a little bit, they could lay down some pretty good lap times for a while. Couple of pushes there from the 26 of Burnett. Pushes Fahey into the corner. Again, a little three-car draft there is not going to do much there. It's a big risk to do that right now. You got to get everybody lined up. Oh, Jonathan Arns slings up too high in the tri-oval, catches a piece of the outside wall, continues on. Nobody's involved in that one but the 43. Chris Goins still out in front. 20 laps go on the board. We're about quarter distance here from Daytona. Chris Goins making it look easy out in front. I'm sure Joe Tucker not pushing the issue right now either. Again, 20 laps down, 61 to go, now 60 to go. Going to have pit stops here also, so we have to worry about that if green flag stays out, which so far so good. It looks pretty clean. We could run this thing green to checker without that proverbial yellow flag. Of course, I said it now. It'll never happen. Either way, I think pit stops are going to be the decider here, how quickly you can get on and off of pit road. Do you do it with a partner? Do you try to come by yourself? Sometimes it's just not the best way to do it. You get out there back after your pit cycle. If you go out alone, you've got no drafting help. Their running lap times, their best lap so far is a 44.45. Correction, 44.25. That's actually Sean Roberts with the fast time so far. But if you go out there all by yourself, you're going to be seconds off of that lap time, not tenths, full seconds slower than the rest of those guys out there in the draft working together. So you kind of have to have a dancing partner when it is time to take those green flag stops. Cody Anderson is in the pit lane. I think this is a scheduled stop. Connection issues, it appears, for Cody Anderson, blinking in and out here for a moment. Actually, it looks like Cody did not take the green. Very interesting. Cody Anderson hitting the track here, the number 17 machine. Did not take the green flag initially, but he's out here 23 laps in, giving it his all. It's dedication for you right there, folks. Meanwhile, out front, top two have kind of gotten away from the rest of that pack. Justin Johnson third, all by his lonesome with these other two drivers. You might know them, you might heard of them, Drew Blaze and Sean Roberts. We also have got the 726 of Michael Cole catching the back of these guys. It appears he is a lap down machine, lost the draft early on. Getting some big wiggles there out of Justin Johnson and Drew Blaze. Back and forth, left, right, left, right. got to make you nervous in that mirror. But Drew Blaze, he's got some talent around these places, whether it's here or short tracks, road courses. Doesn't seem to matter. But Johnson down on the apron into turn number 1. Not sure if he got pushed down there or what happened. Gets it back up on the racing surface. Again, the push still coming from Drew Blaze. This might be an attempt here, a little tandem draft. Got to watch those water temps. It's going to get hot. Oh, almost clips the right rear. Justin Johnson down the backstretch. That was close. Riding on board again with Drew Blaze. Let's listen to that throttle modulation. Big checkup into turn number 3. Switching it up, outside lane. Got some other cars into the mix now. Justin Johnson moving into the second spot after a big push from Drew Blaze. We saw that kind of shaping up, those two working together in that, well, we used to call it the tandem draft back in the day. It seems to be working. I wonder how hot Drew Blaze got the engine on that one, but Justin Johnson's cycles gets shuffled back to the high line. Joe Tucker back into the second spot. Sean Roberts back into third. Drew Blaze going to give it another go, try and push the 10 forward. He's kind of creating his own carrot on a stick. Pushing Johnson out front. Give him something to draft off of. Gets him into position. He's been awfully aggressive with it, though. Again, I got to question, how aggressive does he need to be this early on? Is he just trying to get a feel for it? Don't want to wreck the car. Then you've got a whole other situation you got to deal with. Eddie Rose in the YouTube chat. What's going on, Eddie? Again, we had a little issue with the Facebook side. It did not want to go live. It appears that Facebook changed their streaming URL. Does not want to cooperate tonight, but LSR guys, I think they preferred the YouTube side anyway, so I guess no harm, no foul. 28 laps in here at Daytona. Still under the green flag. Everyone's still on the same fuel strategy, at least for now. No one has hit the pit lane. Again, drivers did have 100% full fuel for this race. 200 miles, 80 laps. 3 sets of tires to use over the wall, way more than they're probably going to need. Again, we're 30 laps in. We haven't pit at all. I'd be willing to bet we'll probably only see 1 tire change here tonight. Chris Goins off of turn 4, about to put lap 30 up on the board. We're going to take a very short break, step aside for a brief moment. You won't miss a second of the action, though. We're going to stay live through the whole thing. Don't go anywhere. 22 laps in of 80 here at Daytona. Chris Goins has led them all so far. Joe Tucker running there in the second position. Sean Roberts maintaining third. So far, doing what he needs to do just to kind of be there at the end in case there's some scraps to pick up. Again, he's got to have a problem for Chris Goins and Drew Blaze. That's got to go down in order for Sean Roberts or even Keaton Burnett to take this championship. It really is going to come down between the 6 and the 1, barring any major incidents so far. We've been pretty clean and green. The 1 has been pretty aggressive the majority of the race so far, probably just getting a feel for what he can get away with. Chris Goins out in front here, 33 laps in. Very consistent, very smooth. Again, keep in mind, guys, he is battling COVID right now. Definitely fatigue may set in here at some point. I think he sat out a race last night just for that, trying to rest up, trying to put all the focus and attention on this championship that he's trying to secure. Back to the YouTube chat. Brandon Minnick saying hello. Once again, Brandon, we're missing you here, buddy. Thanks for coming in and saying hello. Certainly appreciate it. Eddie Rose looking for HBR TV on Facebook. Well, don't look too hard because it ain't working tonight. Meanwhile, pit stops underway. Drew Blaze, Justin Johnson. Justin locks up the rears, keeps it straight. A good save by the driver of the 10. Hopefully did not get a speeding penalty coming in. He slowed it way down. You see Drew Blaze starts to close in on the 10. We'll go to Drew Blaze here. Watch the stop with the championship point leader. Misses the box. Slides through his pit box and multiple pit boxes. Has to back it up. Fuel only maybe for the 1? Yes, indeed. But he's going to be out there on his own island. Tough break for Drew Blaze as he exits pit lane here. 34 laps in for his first stop. He's going to have to make at least one more to make it to the finish, but no tires on this one. Fuel only for the 1. We'll see what the rest of these guys do. Can they make it a one-stop race? Can they go another 5-6 laps and carry it to the end? We're going to see. Chris Goins just getting into turns 1 and 2. May put the 1 a lap down. Brandon Minnick always working on race days. Man, that's tough. No good, man. Oh, we miss you. It's good to see you when we can. Chris Goins barreling past Drew Blaze, putting the championship point leader a lap down. Now the leaders are going to hit pit road. Chris Goins, Joe Tucker, Sean Roberts, all 3 drivers hard on the binders trying to get down to pit lane to pit road speed. It's going to drag just about everyone else. We've got Dave Ballard, Kevin Blue, Jesse Redding, Michael Cole, Cody Anderson as well. I'm not sure why. He's only been out there for 12 laps, but maybe just trying to get on the cycle. And Joe Tucker, he slides through the box. Now Chris Goins is going to take right sides. This is interesting. Crew goes around left sides as well. 4 tires in fuel for Chris Goins. Maybe he's banking on going fuel only on the final stop. Either way, he's kind of got that card in his hand to play with Drew Blaze missing the pit box and having to back up at least a whole box and a half. Really, Drew Blaze lost a ton of time there. Chris Goins, though, down and away. 14.92 second stop for the 6. Drew Blaze's stop, 8.115 seconds. Granted, that was fuel only. But if you really look at it, he had to back up in the box. He spent 41.75 seconds on pit lane, so it didn't cost him terribly. About 2 seconds of pit lane time. But under the green flag, that's quite a bit of distance. So through that cycle, though, I believe... See, Worthington has gotten the lead. He is in the pits. Gonna get a camera on the 113. There he is. He's down and away. Now Bobby Hall Jr. inherits the top spot. Bobby Hall Jr., the 94. He's gonna get out to the lead for now, but no, Chris Goins at speed. He goes on by, retakes the top spot. Sean Roberts now to second. Joe Tucker manages to stay in that 3rd position. Again, Tucker, he overshot the pit box as well, so that explains how he lost spots on that cycle, but he's not terribly far behind Sean Roberts. Can he pick up a draft? He's a ways off. quite a distance. He's going to need some drafting help. Otherwise, that gap is going to get bigger and bigger, and those cars out in front are going to get smaller and smaller. Keaton Burnett currently running in the 7th spot. Mike Fahey just behind in 8th. We got Dan Worthington, who had the lead momentarily there. He's completed his pit work. He's 9th. Field very well spread out. Very small packs throughout the racing facility. Bobby Hall Jr.'s got the Yanko livery on that Camaro. That's pretty cool. Now we see Jonathan Arns back in the pit lane. We do have a report that he got into the fence here at lap 37. Let's try and find that in a replay, see what we can come up with there. This might have been exiting pit lane. Oh, yeah, just in the throttle too hard. Nails the outside wall. How we didn't get a caution with that. Didn't see who that was. It was flying by at speed, but that could have been, should have been probably a yellow flag. We didn't get it. Arn's still in the box getting some repairs done. Maybe not having that fast repair checked or possibly already used it up. Chris Goins, though, out in front. Again, 2 championship contenders here. Chris Goins, 2nd place in the standings, 1st in the race. You got Sean Roberts, 2nd in the race, 4th in the standings. It's going to be real curious to see how this shakes out. We're just about halfway, lap 40 of 80. Taking a look at our championship contenders, of course. We just talked about it. Chris Goins, currently the leader. He's been out front pretty much since the drop of the green flag. He didn't have the pole. Took over that top spot in that first lap. Sean Roberts, currently 4th in the standings, runs 2nd. We just talked about that a moment ago. Drew Blaze, though, through all that chaos with the pits, back to the 4th position. Again, back to the back bumper of Justin Johnson. Justin checked up considerably after that miscue on pit road, trying to get back to the front bumper of Drew Blaze, kind of be a drafting partner for the one. They've worked really well together since the drop of the green flag. Big wiggle there again, once again. Joe Tucker now in the 5th position. He's just behind these guys. And then we've got Keaton Burnett. He's running 6th on the track, 3rd in the standings. Drew Prohl calling us nerds over here. You usually race this, Drew. I don't know if I'd be throwing stones in that glass house of yours. There's your championship contenders, though. We've run this race 100 miles so far without a caution. We've had a near miss. Jonathan Arns incident exiting the pit lane. Almost collected another car. I didn't quite catch who that was, but nevertheless, we stay green. 42 laps on the board. Drew Prohl was saying in the chat, was going to be there, but maybe work the dock. You got a tough break there, bud. You got to work a little bit late. Missed the race. Unfortunate. We miss you. Hopefully get to do some more of these things when we start the truck series here pretty soon. Kevin Blue looks like he may be running kind of all by himself here. Remember, it was just about maybe 10 laps ago. Kevin caught the wall off turn 4, kind of pancaked the right side, kept the car going straight. Kevin's got 14 seconds to make up if he's going to catch Dan Worthington to get into the top 10, and he's got Ken Couch 3.5 seconds behind him. It almost might be beneficial to check up here and just get to the front bumper of Ken Couch so that they can work together as drafting partners, because right now it's just not working out. With these two, though, Ken Couch and the 726 of Michael Cole. Michael Cole running in the 14th position. He's not on the lead lap, but the drafting certainly going to come into play here for both these guys. It's going to help Couch catch Kevin Blue in a hurry, so Kevin may just want to keep his foot in it. They've made up a full second in the last lap itself. Minnick can only make 5 of the truck races. Tough break as well. I'd protest, Brandon. Maybe they're doing that on purpose. Riding on board with Kevin Blue, you can see how fast those 2 cars behind him are going to catch him with the draft. Now, Kevin Blue punches a bit of a hole in the air as well. So with the draft they've got working together, plus the draft coming from the 54, they're going to catch him in a hurry. In fact, they've caught him. He's there. 3.5 seconds made up in 2 laps. They're going to go by maybe the outside with authority, or they're not. Maybe they're going to work together here, kind of be smart, try to get their way back up to the bigger pack that is ahead of them. Try and catch Dan Worthington, Bobby Hall Jr., Mike Fahey, and the rest of the gang. Out front, Chris Goins still leads. Sean Roberts is second. Third place is Joe Tucker, but a little bit of a ways back. Bit of a hornet's nest between himself, Justin Johnson, Drew Blaze, and you also got the 90 there, Dave Ballard, in the mix. Ballard, not a lead lap car. Keaton Burnett has joined the party as well, with Mike Fahey in behind. The 2 Flex Motorsports machines in behind that group as well. Bobby Hall Jr., Dan Worthington. Joe Tucker slips quite a bit, back down to the 9th position. Third place is now Justin Johnson. Again, Drew Blaze right to that back bumper. There's still an 8-second gap between the 10 and the top 2. We talked about it early on at the end of that first half. These guys get lined up single file and just work together. They stand to gain some ground. See Drew Blaze, though, pushing the daylights out of the 10. How Justin Johnson manages to hang on to that Mustang is beyond me. Takes a special talent to get that kind of push and keep that thing pointed. .48 laps in of 80. Chris Goins pretty much has to win this race. But he's also got to cross his fingers a little bit for Drew Blaze to have some trouble, because where he sits right now, Chris Goins winning the race and Drew Blaze finishing 4th, just not going to be enough to overtake him in the points. Hard not to watch these two, Justin Johnson and Drew Blaze. See, Justin Johnson has some damage to that back bumper. Got to imagine that is all from the one of Drew Blaze just beating that thing in, trying to push him down the racetrack. You see this group of cars, though, they're starting to get lined up. You see Mike Fahey taking a peek to the outside of Keith Burnett. That might have been just to try and get some air on the nose of that number 19, try to keep that engine cool. Got to imagine how the heck Drew Blaze is keeping that number 1 machine cool, as he was been tucked right in behind Justin Johnson. Only inches between those two cars. No air getting to the radiator on the Fahey Race Wraps Camaro. Big bump coming. Well, maybe not. Blaze checks up just a bit. Meanwhile, out front, Chris Goins, Sean Roberts. Top two, he's got Cody Anderson in behind. Cody, again, not on the lead lap. I think he came into this race about 12 laps after it had started. I still just cannot understand Drew Blaze and Justin Johnson here. Drew pushing the 10 with all he's got, trying to get that thing out into the front, catch these leaders. They've started to cut into it slightly, but it's still 8.3 seconds up to Sean Roberts. I'm just curious as to why Drew wants to push this hard, this aggressively. He's in a position where he just needs to finish where he's at. He could still lock up this championship. I know these guys are racers and they want to win the race, but yeah, keep your eye on the prize. The big prize, that's the championship at the end of the season. Drew Blaze puts the nose in the wind for a moment there, likely to get some cooling down to that engine. Drivers taking the opportunity to hit pit road once again. Kevin Blue, Ken Couch, just to name a couple. Kevin Blue is in. Jesse Redding stays out on the track as the 10th place position. We've got others. Drew Blaze, Justin Johnson once again. Let's see if Drew can get to the box here and not miss it. Justin Johnson to the inside, though. Gonna be tough. Locks him up a bit, but he gets to the pit box, no issues. Still no tires going on the one of Drew Blaze. This is a fuel-only stop. This looks the same for Drew Blaze and Justin Johnson. Mike Fahey might have taken tires. No, he did not. A 9-second stop for the 19. Drew Blaze, 13.9 seconds. He could have taken tires there. He took fuel only. And maybe he doesn't need them. Maybe it's not as important here, especially here at Daytona under the lights. Track temperature is relatively low as we see Drew Blaze get a little loose through the corner there, down in the apron pit exit, trying to get all he can to get out there. As you see, he is now in front of Justin Johnson. That was his drafting partner for quite a while. We'll see if they switch things up and put the 10 back in front of Drew Blaze. 25 laps to go here from Daytona. Worthington's going to tuck in and push the 10 up. Drew Blaze wanted to get in behind the 10. Justin's going to drop back down to not give that drafting assist to the 113. He's going to work with Drew Blaze once again. Now Chris Goins still the leader. Sean Roberts, Joe Tucker, Bobby Hall Jr., the only cars on the lead lap. Caution would change a lot right about now. Drew Blaze listed as the 9th running machine, still in a good position to win the championship even there. Don't let your eyes fool you, though. The lead lap cars, Chris Goins, Sean Roberts, that's 1 and 2. The cars in behind, Cody Anderson and I believe Jesse Redding, not on the lead lap. Anderson running 16th, effectively last, 12 laps down. 7:21 machine of Jesse Redding is 5th. First car 1 lap down. If we get the caution anytime soon, he would be the recipient of that lucky dog drive-by. Get that lap back. .22 now coming to 21 laps to go. They work down the back straightaway. Going to look to see if Chris Goins and Sean Roberts are going to hit the pit lane. Be also curious to see if Tucker and Hall Jr. decide to follow suit when they do so. Ooh, Cody Anderson in the wall, straightens it back out, bounces off the safer barrier. He's going to continue on here, pick up the draft from the 7:26 of Michael Cole. Correction, Anderson is 23 laps down. Now Cody Anderson hits the pit lane once again. Not sure what the strategy is here for the 17. Again, he started here late. I don't think he even took the green flag, essentially, but out here turning some laps, making some pit stops. I mean, this is kind of a practice for him more than anything else. Chris Goins, though, with 20 laps to go, still out in front. Chris Goins, another opportunity to hit the pit lane. He opts not to. Might be gambling here, hoping maybe they get that caution. He can pit under the yellow. Trap Drew Blaze a lap down. Going back to Drew Blaze. He's in behind Fahey and Johnson. Justin Johnson's kind of been that drafting partner, that rabbit to chase all night long, but Mike Fahey, the meat and the sandwich between those two. Keaton Burnett in behind Drew Blaze. Keaton certainly wants to go around the one. He's looking left, looking right down the back straightaway. He slides up just a bit, maybe to put some air on the nose. Little wiggle from the one of Drew Blaze as well off turn number 4. They're all lined up single file. Chris Goins, Sean Roberts, they stay out again. Back to the top 5. If these guys stay on the same strategy, you can likely go to about 10 laps to go before making that final stop. Chris Goins just has to hope and pray for a caution here. Would really change things for that number 6. Again, he's been out front almost all night long. Only time he's not had the lead was through a pit cycle. Top 2 still unchanged. Top 4 lead lap cars: Chris Goins, Sean Roberts, Joe Tucker, Bobby Hall Jr. Lap down cars, well, everybody behind that. Jesse Redding, the first car, 1 lap down. Then you've got Justin Johnson, Mike Fahey, Drew Blaze, Keaton Burnett, Dan Worthington. That's the top 10. Then 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, and 16th is David Ballard, Ken Couch, Kevin Blue, Michael Cole, Jonathan Arnn, and Cody Anderson. I'll have to watch the deficit between Goins and the rest of the pack that's containing Drew Blaze and others, mainly Drew Blaze, Keaton Burnett. They trail by 50 full seconds because, well, first of all, they're a lap down, so that's counting that as well. But you got to wonder if Chris Goins can get on and off of pit lane here, splash and go to the end, and get back out with drafting help. At least maybe get this checkered flag and win this race. He's going to do all he can do. He's just got to wait for the racing gods to smile down on him. Have something happen to that championship competitor of Drew Blaze. Of course, you never want to see that, but I'm sure if you're Chris Goins behind the wheel, that number 6 I-Lending Camaro, you want to see it happen. You take it however you can get it. Comes into tonight knowing he's got to win this race. Clock is ticking, though. You wonder if Cinderella can make it all the way to the ball. 4 laps to go, at least until we expect to see Chris Goins hit pit lane for the final time. That gap is shrinking, though, between himself and Drew Blaze. Drew's cut a full second into it. If we stay green all the way to the end, though, Chris Goins is certainly going to want to make sure that he gets on and off of pit road perfectly. Gets that car woed up just the right way so he doesn't speed in pit lane. Doesn't miss the pit box. Gets his pit service completed and gets down and away. No mistakes. It sounds simple. It's easy to say. Not always easy to execute. He's going to have to do that here shortly. Got to imagine if he pits on that same cycle. He pit first at lap 35. If you stay on that same schedule, he's going to pit here at lap 70. That'll put us with about 10 laps to go. He's going to have to get in, splash and go more than likely. Remember, Drew Blaze did not take tires, has not taken tires yet this evening. Chris Goins, however, did take 4 on his stop. Manages to still stay out in front. I don't know if that's really related to the miscue that Drew Blaze had in the pits where he missed the pit box. He lost some track position there, but again, a fuel-only stop for the one, so it wasn't too terribly bad. It was about a second, maybe 2 at the most, that he lost in the pit lane under the green flag, but through strategy and more drafting, single line, he's able to cut down that gap. However, he is still a lap down. Doesn't mean much right now, because again, when Chris Goins hits the pit lane, everybody else, it's good to the end. They're going to stay in that throttle. They're going to close down that gap significantly. You're going to have to see if Chris Goins can get back out and back up to speed before losing that top spot. Coming to 11 to go. Joe Tucker, Bobby Hall Jr., 3rd and 4th position drivers hitting the pit lane. Tucker in there taking tires here with 11 to go. Kind of have to question that one. Bobby Hall Jr. also taking tires. You got to wonder if the handling really starting to go away. Chris Goins, the leaders, and Sean Roberts both in the pit lane for the final time. 10 laps to go. We kind of expected it to be right about now. Can he get it woed up? Locks him up, gets into the box. Fuel only for the 6. Waiting. 7.53 second stop for Chris Goins. He's back out there. Now we got to look for Drew Blaze in the bunch. Justin Johnson, they're into turn number 3. All at speed, all in the draft. Chris Goins leaves pit lane. He still has the top spot. He's going to have to get going, though. Doesn't look like he's got a drafting partner. He's all by his lonesome. No, he's not. Sean Roberts is there. They're off turn number 2. Justin Johnson into turns 1 and 2. Goins and Roberts now into 3 and 4. They're going to need to hustle. They're going to need to get together as they do. Roberts gets to the back bumper. They're going to have to really push here. Coming to 9 laps to go. They maintain the top spot. They're only a 2-car draft. It's better than nothing, but you got a big pack behind. 6 cars deep at least. They're all lined up one by one, single file line in the draft. Chris Goins has gotten on and off of pit lane and maintained that gap of about now 8 seconds back to Justin Johnson and Mike Fahey and Drew Blaze and Keaton Burnett. Dan Worthington, Joe Tucker back to 8th. Those are now your lead lap cars after the leaders decided to hit pit lane for their final stops of the day. Looking back from Sean Roberts, it's pretty clear all the way out that back window. Coming to 8 laps to go. Justin Johnson back there in 3rd in this big pack. They've gone 2 by 2. That's not going to help them catch the leaders. Again, I don't want to keep talking about it. I've only mentioned it once or twice, but we've been caution-free since the drop of the green flag here tonight. 8 laps to go. We've run 72.5 so far without incident. Ooh, Jonathan Arnn in the fence just a bit there. Keeps it straight, or does he? Still wiggling, still trying to straighten it back out. He does so off of turn 4. Drew Blaze maintains that 5th place. Again, I think this is plenty for him to finish this off and win this championship, regardless of what Chris Goins does. A win would certainly be nice for the 6, but man, I'm sure he wants that championship. Now you've got Drew Blaze giving the 19 of Fahey a big push. This is off turn number 2, down the back straightaway. He's going to try and push the 19 by the 10 of Justin Johnson. With that move with the 19 and Drew Blaze. Blaze now up to the 4th spot. Move Mike Fahey up into P3. Big push from Drew Blaze on the 19 of Michael Fahey. They've cut into those top 2. It's down to 5.7 seconds to the back bumper of Sean Roberts. Don't know if they can make up a full second a lap to catch them or not. Chris Goins and Sean Roberts just kind of comfortable riding together with each other there. Roberts not really pushing the issue, at least not yet. Less than 5 laps to go down the backstretch, about a half car length between the 6 and the 66. It's 5.4 seconds back to the 19 of Mike Fahey. The aggression level on high for Drew Blaze, though, beating the daylights out of the back bumper, that number 19. Gosh, you hear Drew Blaze checking out of the throttle so many times through the tri-oval. Already damaged the back right rear of the number 19. Don't know if that's going to help or hurt. Still less than 4 laps to go. They've got 5 seconds to make up. I just don't see it happening. Almost looks like he's trying to wreck Fahey. I don't think that's a great idea, but it might get everybody caught up if he does. Still all into the back bumper of Mike Fahey through turn 2. I'm without words watching Drew Blaze behind the 19 of Mike Fahey. I just don't know how he can beat that back bumper in the way that he has, not hurt his car, and not wreck the 19. It's very impressive. I got to say that at least that much. Justin Johnson now back to the rear bumper of the 1. Drew Blaze, another big push into Mike Fahey. Less than 2 laps to go. Chris Goins into turn 3 and 4. We'll keep a close eye on this. If he gets to the white flag, doesn't need to worry about a wreck behind him. White flag is out. Chris Goins and Sean Roberts with a commanding lead. Full 2.75 seconds back to the third place running machine of Mike Fahey. All that pushing is certainly helping from Drew Blaze, but it's not going to be enough to catch the leaders. It's going to come down to the 6th or the 66. Back bumper view from Chris Goins, looking back to Sean Roberts down the back straightaway from the last time. Alex, we had that camera angle just a moment ago, but it's the last lap. We're going to stick with Chris Goins and Sean Roberts as they work off turn number 4. The final lap of the final race of the LSR Cup season goes to Chris Goins. Sean Roberts is going to finish in 2nd position. Justin Johnson crosses the line P3. Drew Blaze finishes 4th. Keaton Burnett finishes in the 5th position. I think Drew Blaze has locked up a championship here more than likely. Drew Blaze getting into the back, spinning the 1. Oh, jeez. Got to get some dents on that number 1. Out front, though, Chris Goins is your race winner. Chris Goins doing the donuts in the tri-oval grass. Every time I see that, I remember 1998. We're going to step aside, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back with our top 3 and champion after this. Stay with us. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Daytona International Speedway, the LSR Cup Series season finale. Extreme Motorsports 80. It's in the books here. Chris Goins, finally, last race of the season, gets the first win of the season. I think he takes home a second place finish in the championship. Let's see if we can get a word with our race winner here. Pull Chris up into the broadcast booth. Chris, it's Steve in the HBR TV booth. You got a good copy?
Yes, sir. I got you, Steve. Can you hear me?
Got you loud and clear. Hope you're feeling okay. I know you're battling COVID right now. First and foremost, how do you feel?
Well, I am exhausted after that. No cautions or anything. I was just telling the guys before you jump in here with me. That first pit stop, I got my daughter to run in there and grab me a Ziploc bag full of ice because I was burning up so bad. So I've got a Ziploc bag full of ice down my shirt since about lap 35.
Almost like real world conditions when you're sitting inside a race car. But either way, you brought it home. I think you led just about every lap with the exception of some pit cycles. First and foremost, walk through that first lap. I know Joe Tucker started the race P1, but you quickly got it to the outside and took over the top spot. Was that the strategy from the get-go?
No, not necessarily. I was trying to get pole because I needed that bonus point, because obviously chasing Drew in the points, I needed to make up as much as I could. So, I was going for that bonus point and I missed it by 4/1000ths of a second. So, but on that initial start, when you got the Geico restart zone, the green flag went and I guess Tucker hesitated for just a second and, I knew it wouldn't black flag me. So I was able to get out in front and just pulled down and cleared him and just decided to try and hold it there.
As long as you make those passes to the outside, you can certainly get away with it. Nicely done. Quick reaction time. COVID and all, man. I'm impressed. I know I had it not so bad as far as you sound, and I couldn't even race, man. I did a couple of broadcasts, and even that was tough. So my hat is off to you, sir. Congratulations. First win of the season, last race of the season. I don't think you quite had enough to take the championship. I think Drew still ended up getting that, right?
To be honest with you, I haven't looked yet. So I'm just kind of sitting here taking it all in, trying to catch my breath. But I'm sure he probably did with where he finished. I mean, he finished fourth, so I think I'm probably came up about 5 points short if I had to guess. But it's my first league win, this season, but ever. I mean, I finally got me one. It was due, but I'm just ecstatic to be able to pull one out.
Well, you ran good all season. There's no doubt about that. Consistency, there's really something to that. Again, you didn't win until tonight. This is the last race of the year, but you still maintain that second position. You had 11-point deficit coming into the final race, so you don't always have to win every week to be competitive and be in contention for a championship. You still got that win. You did everything you had to except for take the pole tonight. Congratulations. You did what you had to do. I think you should get 5 extra bonus points considering the circumstances. But Chris, congratulations either way, man. Before we let you get out of here, is there anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, I want to thank the family here. They're, with me being sick, they're kind of picking up some of the slack around here, and daughter's a lifesaver with the ice pack. But yeah, I just want to thank LSR, all my teammates there at Lonestar Racing. Always have a good season with these guys. Always enjoy it. Definitely want to thank everybody else that's not associated or not member of LSR for coming and running this full season with us. Definitely appreciate it. You got the Flex guys and some of the other guys too. So definitely want to thank you for broadcasting this season. Hopefully we'll have you back and you'll have us back, I guess, and we'll do it again. And Islanding for being on the car, and I couldn't have done it without Sean tonight. So I appreciate him for pushing me like he did.
Certainly a fun race to watch. Sean came through in the clutch, and speaking of coming through in the clutch, Vi, your daughter there, the honorary pit crew, bringing in the ice. It's always cool to see. I know she's going to hate you for me saying that, but that's half the reason I did it, because I got a young daughter too, so I got to throw the dad joke and the embarrassment in there as well. So
absolutely, yeah, it. So I'll make sure, even if she's not watching it right now, I'll make sure she sees it. So
you got to get her a helmet and a headset.
That's right, exactly. I can talk to her from the living room.
All right, Chris. Well, nice job, man. Congratulations. Short on the championship, but hey, checkered flag, that makes it feel a little bit less terrible.
Absolutely. Yeah, it couldn't have ended better for me. I mean, other than a championship, but I'll take it.
All right, Chris. Well, thanks for chatting with us, man, and look forward to seeing you in the trucks coming up here end of August.
I appreciate it, Steve. Have a good one.
It's Chris Goins, your race winner here. The Final Ride 80 presented by Extreme Motorsports. Final race of the LSR Cup season. Next, we'll go to second place, Sean Roberts. And then when we're all done here with the top three, we'll go to our champion, Drew Blaze. But for now, we got Sean Roberts. Sean, it's Steve in the booth. You got a copy?
Oh, I got you loud and clear there, Steve.
Sean, congratulations, man. P2, you kind of did almost everything you had to do. I know you probably needed to win the race and have some bad luck for Chris Goins and Drew Blaze to really take a championship. Mathematically, the options were available to you, but either way, good run here at Daytona. You looked impressive out there. Chris had kind things to say about you helping him, giving him the push. But tell us about your night. I know you started the season out really strong. You had the points lead for a bit, but I think you're going to finish this one here. I think P3 over Keaton Burnett.
Yeah, I just looked at the standings. I squeaked them by one solitary point over the course of the entire season. 1 point made the difference.
1 point, man. It's all that matters. It could be the difference between a position or a championship, and you got yourself a top 3 championship finishing spot here at Daytona. How's it feel?
It feels great considering, oval's not my thing. I'm still fairly new to iRacing, and the fact that I can hang with these guys, if that's a good win for me in my cap.
Finishing second to Chris Goins, that is almost like a win. Chris is a talent out there. He's smooth, he's clean, and he's quick. Clearly, he won the race tonight. You did a good job. You impressed him. So if you impressed him, you impressed me. Nice job, man.
Thank you.
So, Sean, again, before we let you get out of here, again, a second place finish. I'm sure you had some help. You had some sponsors. You had some people that helped get this thing done for you. Who is it that you need to thank before we let you go?
Well, I got to thank my guys over at Shando Shine and Kate Designs for hooking me up with this nice livery that's on the on my Ford Mustang here. I also got to give a shout out to my guys over at United Esports. We got our United Touring Car Championship starting next weekend, and we're doing that at our first weekend's at Brands Hatch, so I'm looking forward to getting some road racing in too.
That's a weekend series.
Yeah, it's on Saturdays in I think it's 3 o'clock East Coast time.
3 o'clock Eastern. Sean, do me a favor when we're all done. Send me a private message with the details. I may want to join you for that.
All right, yeah, we got a couple more spots left.
All right. Well, Sean, again, congratulations. Runner-up in the race, P3 in the championship. Congratulations, man. Hope to see you in the truck series coming up here in August.
Yeah, I'll see you guys in the trucks.
Sean Roberts, P2 here at Daytona. Next, we're going to go to Justin Johnson. Glad that we're going to get a chance to talk to the driver of the numeral X, the number 10, Justin Johnson. It's Steve in the broadcast booth. You got a good copy?
Yep, there's Steve.
Justin, I'm glad to have you up here in the booth. You finished P3. I hadn't had a chance to talk too much to you, at least on the air, but you're the admin here of the league. But watching you and Drew Blaze tonight, first of all, how do you keep that car straight with the one pounding in that back bumper?
I can promise you, man, it's very difficult. At times, that car feels like it's on ice.
I was watching you and him, and then later in the race, he was pushing Fahey the same way. I don't know how we ran this entire race without a caution, but again, it just goes to show the talent level of the guys here in the LSR Cup Series is second to none. Fun to watch, a great race. You guys were laps down late in the race, then it cycled through. You got back up there, and I don't know how you did it. You guys got organized, you got single file, and man, you made up some serious time on Chris Goins and Sean Roberts there at the end. Not quite enough to get back up to him, but still a P3 finish.
Yeah, me, Drew, and Mike, we have ran a lot of super speedways together, so we've kind of figured out something that seems to work for us. And then when we can get a fourth or fifth in line, it just helps that much more. And we kind of got switched up a little too late. I think another lap or two, and we would have caught them and gave them a heck of a finish. But definitely can't about that.
Certainly seemed like that you and Drew were kind of doing that game as Drew was doing like a tandem draft with you for a while. Were you doing a lot of pushing in that aspect at some point? Did you see a lot of high engine temperature? I know we'll talk to Drew about that as well, but it seemed occasionally guys would kind of pull out, try to cool the thing down, and then go back at it.
Yeah, Drew gets right up on you so much that he's literally pushing you, get the car extremely loose, and his car does get hot doing that. And when I got in there trying to tuck in behind him, I did not want to touch him with the way he was touching Fahey, because I did not want to make matters worse, but I wanted to stay as close as I possibly could without making contact. It's hard. because you see the contact he's making with the car in front, and then his car is getting sideways, back and forth. And man, it was kind of nerve-wracking there towards the end.
Yeah, you never want to push the pusher. That's not fun for any party involved in that one. So nicely done on your part. You kind of work out better there. You get the third place finish. Drew gets fourth, but I think he's going to lock up the championship on this one. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think it did lock up the championship for him. I know there was a battle there for I believe third between Keaton and Sean Roberts. So that's why you saw Fahey and Drew kind of pull out a line, and I was going to try to have Keaton latch onto me so that I could just pull him straight between them and try to get him up there for that points. But I haven't had a chance to look at him. From what I'm hearing, I think Keaton might have lost the third place points run by 1 point.
Yeah, that's what we heard as well from Sean Roberts. Again, that is all unofficial. We'll clear that up here when the race is finally at its official conclusion. But Justin, man, first and foremost, before I get to your thanks, I want to thank you for bringing us in here to do these broadcasts. This LSR Cup Series has been a blast to watch. I'm particularly a fan of this Gen 6 Cup car, and certainly looking forward to more here with the Truck Series coming up in August.
Absolutely, man. We can't thank you enough for doing all these broadcasts for us. We look forward to having you again here in the next few weeks doing all the truck races. I believe we've set the schedule to match up with your off nights, and it's already shaping up to be a good one. We've already got 17 drivers registered, and we still got 4 to 6 weeks to go to get this thing full, and I think we'll be able to get that. So we look forward to putting on another great season for the fans and for you, man.
Well, Justin, again, I appreciate it, but before we let you go, is there anybody that helped get this league rolling, that helps you get this thing going, helps admin it, help pay for all this stuff? I mean, you've got some sponsors in the background. I'm sure there's guys out there that you want to thank. Let's hear about it.
Oh, we had numerous sponsors that came in and sponsored different races. I couldn't even begin to list the number of sponsors that we had. I can tell you, man, big shout out to all of my teammates at Lonestar Racing. These guys helped me tremendously behind the scenes with all kinds of stuff, whether it be, plaques, just all kinds of stuff. I can't thank each one of them guys enough for the help that they do. For tonight, this wrap that was on the car, Mike Fahey, Race Wraps did this one. Appreciate him. But we also got to give a shout out to Nueva Designs. That guy has made many, many wraps for me over the past couple of years, and can't thank that guy enough either. Blaze Designs as well. That guy does excellent work. Can't thank Kevin Blue. Let me give him a shout out, man. That guy has really stepped up to take over for the road course stuff for us here at Lonestar Racing, and along with the charity stuff that he's doing. Can't thank that guy enough for stepping up and doing that too. I'm sure I'm missing some others, and my apologies if I am forgetting anybody, but to each and every one of you out there that support Lone Star Racing and everything we do, man, we can't thank you guys enough.
Certainly is a big group of guys in the LSR side, whether it's trucks, Cup Series, it doesn't seem to matter. They're always turning laps in something. If you're interested in racing with a good group of guys, this is the place. This is where you want to go check it out. There's a lot of leagues out there, but I've broadcast for these guys for a while now, and it's certainly a good place to be. It's a good place that you want to call home if you're looking for one.
Absolutely. We've got a little bit of something for everybody, between the road course leagues, the asphalt oval leagues, and now the dirt oval leagues that we're starting up on Sundays. So a little bit of something for everybody. All they got to do is just hit us up and get in that Discord and pick out what they want to do.
Well, there you have it. Justin, again, congratulations on the third place run. We're going to stop talking to you and get to our champion. I believe that's Drew Blaze. We're going to pull him up here next. Thanks for chatting with us, Justin.
Yes, sir. Thank you again, Steve.
That was Justin Johnson, your third place finisher here at Daytona. Last but not least, it's Mr. Pushy himself, Drew Blaze. Let's bring our champion up into the broadcast booth. Drew Blaze, it's Steve in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
First and foremost, sir, congratulations on a championship here in the Cup Series. Tell us about your season. 4 wins. Couldn't bring home that checkered flag tonight, but the big prize was the championship, and you brought it home.
Yep. Most of the season, man, just trying to finish races and be consistent. I had some wins there, but overall was just trying to go for consistency and not wrecking.
Well, if you're trying not to wreck, I hate to see when you're being aggressive, because watching you push the daylights out of Justin Johnson and Mike Fahey both, I swear that you were firewall deep into the back seat of both of those drivers at one point. How you didn't wreck them, I'll never understand, but how hot does that engine get when you're pushing that hard?
Oh, it gets real hot. I had to jump out of line a few times, try to cool down a couple of degrees, and then jump back in and start pushing again. It was crazy, but it was getting. I think I got up to about 295 at one point.
Good Lord.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm pretty sure I was at 300 on that last lap.
Well, it was fun to watch. You certainly gave us plenty of entertainment in that aspect. You don't always need to be in front to make it entertaining. Leaders out at Daytona just kind of hang, especially when it's just the two of them at that point. But watching you push and bob and weave left and right between Justin Johnson and Mike Fahey was certainly a sight to see. But it worked. I mean, we watched the intervals just completely decrease and just come down the last few laps. I think you were cutting a second a lap into that deficit. Just not enough laps to get it done.
Yeah, we waited too long to switch up. So I told Justin, just drop out, we'll leapfrog, and I'll push Mike. We're not catching him quite fast enough. And once I got behind Mike there, I was just I was hammered down even through the corners trying to push him. It was crazy. It was fun.
It was a blast to watch. Again, congratulations, man. A championship, not a race win, but again, that's the big prize. That's the one at the end of the year that everybody cares about. Nicely done. I assume we'll see a run here in the trucks coming up in August?
Yep, I will be here for the trucks, and we'll see if we can get another championship.
Everybody in the league just put their head in their hand and goes, oh, crap.
I enjoy running with everybody here, so just gotta thank all them guys who came out. And thanks for putting on the broadcast. I'll see you. Well, I think you missed a couple, but either way, thanks for putting on the broadcast, man.
Missed one or two. Nobody's perfect, but again, as far as you being out there, being the quick guy, I know some people are like, oh man, he's always winning. But if you're a kind of quick guy and you've got a really fast guy to chase, it just makes you better. So if anybody's on the fence, I don't have a chance to win. No, just show up, run the seasons, go out there with those faster guys and learn something, because you'll absolutely get better at it by following guys like Drew Blaze.
Absolutely. I mean, even myself. I mean, I didn't have too much experience coming into this league with the Gen 6, and just picked up things as we went along, and finally pulled out a couple wins and kind of put things together.
Well, Drew, once again, congratulations. I know you started to thank some people, but we'll give you one more opportunity before we let you go. Is there anybody else that you need to get thanked?
Yeah, I got to thank Lonestar Racing, the Denso, Mike Fahey Race Rats. You see, Justin Johnson. I got to thank everybody who's supporting me over at Lonestar Racing and in general. So just a great group of guys we got over there, and good to have good people around, and I appreciate everybody.
All right, Drew, man. Congratulations on the championship, and thanks for talking to us. Good luck in the Truck Series.
Thank you.
That's your champion, Drew Blaze, here from Daytona. That's going to really put a big bow on the present is Daytona. It's all over with here. No race next week, but we will be back. We won't be gone too long. Keep in mind, we do have a truck series to get in here coming into August. Still going to be the LSR series. It's going to have probably some different sponsors. I know that's remains to be named, but we'll hear more from that as we get closer. You'll see the postings go up on the social media. Again, unfortunately, unable to run Facebook tonight. Not sure what's going on there. There were some changes in their stream URL that for whatever reason the system did not want to go to it. Either way, we got it done on YouTube. That's why we do them both, just in case one goes down. We're going to continue to do that into next season. So keep an eyeball out for it on the social media platforms. Stay tuned for any kind of updates. Obviously, we'll get the official point standings posted here as soon as they become official for tonight's Extreme Motorsports Final Ride 80. And again, the season finale for the LSR Cup Series. We'll take a look at our official race results before we get out of here. Chris Goins, of course, was your winner. John Roberts, P2. Justin Johnson bringing home a solid top 3 finish. Drew Blaze, 4th place. It's all he needed to win the championship. He certainly got it. I think maybe by about 5 points. Again, we'll confirm later. Keaton Burnett, another championship contender, brought it home top 5. So we had all 4 of our top 4 championship contenders here in the top 5 at the finish. Always cool to see, and it seems to work out that way, so that's always a bonus. Mike Fahey was position 6. Dan Worthington from Flex Motorsports, he gets that 7th spot. Joe Tucker, the pole sitter, he finished 8th. Kevin Blue was 9th. Jesse Redding finished in the 10th position. Ken Couch in the 08 finished 11th. Dave Ballard, 12th. 13th went to Bobby Hall Jr. 14th, Michael Cole. Jonathan Arn was 15th. Cody Anderson, late to the party himself, still ran it though, finishes P16, 23 laps down. That is your race results from the Extreme Motorsports Final Ride 80 from Daytona International Speedway. Again, that's going to wrap it up for us. It's going to wrap up the season for LSR. It's going to wrap up the broadcast schedule for HBR TV for Thursdays. Again, at least until August when we get rolling again. It'll still be Thursday nights, a little bit sooner in the time slot. I think we're up an hour earlier than previous, but we will verify that, of course, post it when it becomes official. Also, if you want those updates, follow us on Facebook.com/HBRTV1. Search us out, HBRTV1, also on the YouTube side. Both the same wording, HBRTV, the number 1. If you want to follow us, like us, share us, subscribe us, turn on the notifications. All that stuff helps us significantly. It gets the eyeballs on LSR a little bit more, as well as the other series that we broadcast here at HBRTV, which has some interlopers with some other leagues that run in the other leagues. We kind of all work together here and make this one big happy family, because that's kind of what iRacing is turning into here. Place for us guys to hang out and have a good time and do some racing without spending money on tires and fuel. Either way, thanks for watching, everybody. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate the stream chat. Tristan Sykes shouting out to Naked HD at the beginning. I had to laugh at that one. Eddie Rose, Brandon Minnick, Drew Prohl, Alex Cokes. Wanted to see the back bumper of the leader. We did go to that camera there in the last few laps, maybe right before you asked. But we were definitely on it for a moment. So go back and check it out once we go finito here from Daytona. That's all I got, folks. Thanks for watching. Have a good night. We'll see you at the next one. Take care.